My beloved child, you are not the residue of what has passed, you are the living witness to what heaven is bringing to completion today. The gift of discernment does not weigh your heart down, it is the very light by which you recognize the path I appointed for you from the beginning. Beloved, when the summons of the sacred rings out, do not let the ashes of the past dim your soul's sight. For today heaven is calling you out of the dust to step into a holy renaming that I, Michael the Archangel, am guarding for you. I, Michael the Archangel, declare, you are not forgotten amid the ruins. I have seen the seed of light within you, and now is the hour for it to rise. You are no longer one who walks through ashes, but one called out of the dust to bear a new crown. Stand up, for heaven is rewriting your name. Within your soul there is an eternal memory inscribed by heaven, your true name, a name that cannot be stained by trial or fault. When you hear my voice, it is not merely an invitation but the awakening of a divine identity that has lain sleeping. What was once buried I breathe upon with new life, and every part of your soul is being stirred awake. You are not a failure nor one forsaken, you are one entrusted with the watch alongside the angelic hosts. I do not come to remind you of pain but to rekindle a fire that has never gone out. I touch the shadowed places of your heart, not to judge but to return your wings. As you dare to step out of the cinders, the atmosphere of heaven will wrap around you. With each step you take, I go before you as a radiant shield so that no power can harm your soul any longer. Leaving the dust behind, you do more than depart from old memories. You step into the bright realm of spiritual watchfulness, where you become an instrument that safeguards the light in the world. When you are called out of the dust, you do not walk alone. I am raising a circle of light around you, a perimeter where heaven's protection rests. There all anxiety dissolves and only peace remains, together with a keen sense of mission. I not only shelter you from contrary winds, I train your spirit to become steady, lucid, and keen in discernment. Every prayer you utter, every minute of stillness, is a small trumpet sounding with the trumpets of the angelic host in the battle for the light. And now, since you have heard the call and felt new breath within your soul, I invite you deeper. Walk with me into the journey of holy renaming, where you will understand why you were chosen, how heaven is training you in spiritual watch, and how you may stand firm as a keeper of the gate of light in this hour of the world's turning. There are moments in life when it seems every inner summons has fallen silent. Yet in the quiet of the soul, heaven is still whispering your name. That call does not thunder from without, it arises from the deepest place within, where your sacred name was engraved before the world was made. Holy renaming does not turn you into someone else, it brings you back to the primal image in the light of God, where your soul has always shone, though many seasons of dust have passed over it. I, Michael the Archangel, say to you, before you knew how to ask, I had heard. Before you fully understood yourself, I had seen the light in you. For there has never been a moment when you were forgotten. Your true name, the name bestowed by heaven, has not been stained by trial, nor can it be lost in the river of time. It has merely been hidden like a pearl in the earth, waiting for the day it is cleansed and set ablaze. When you begin to recognize who I am in heaven, a new door opens. You are no longer defined by circumstance or by others' words, you are renamed in the light. Scripture says, I have called you by your name, you are mine. Isaiah 4:3-1. That word is a sacred covenant, a cord of light binding heaven and your soul. As you step into this knowing, everything that once fed your doubt loses its hold, for the light of the true name reshapes you wholly. In you I see not one striving to be loved, but a soul remembering it has always been loved without condition. Holy renaming is not a mere concept, it is the soul's revival. When you accept that you are chosen, loved, and called, the energy of heaven begins to move, gentle yet unyielding, drawing you back to the center of the light. Remember Gideon. He hid in fear, convinced he was no one among his people. Yet when the angel came, he was addressed by a new name, mighty warrior of the Lord. Gideon was startled, for he did not see himself as strong. That was the moment heaven renamed him, not according to circumstance, but according to essence. So it is today. You are being called out of the shadowed region of self-doubt to behold yourself through heaven's eyes. I, Michael, the Archangel, bear witness to that moment. Each time you say yes to the inner call, you affirm your divine identity. Renaming does not unfold amid clamor, but in the hush where your soul grows still to listen. In that stillness you hear the heartbeat of heaven resounding within. Do not fear if you do not yet see clearly who you are. I remain near, guarding and upholding every step you take. As you remember your true name, all else falls into its place. I stand close, not only as protector but as witness to the rebirth of a called soul. I see you turning from confusion to peace, from doubt to conviction, from silence to a bold confession, I belong to the light. When you begin to live inside that knowing, your inner world changes hue. Trials that once made you falter become the springboards of wisdom. Nothing is random any longer, for every fragment of your life is being ordered anew by my hand according to a heavenly pattern. This is the miracle of holy renaming, where you not only know who you are but dare to live fully by that name. Let my light touch the parts you once concealed. Let me teach you to see yourself with heaven's eyes. Only when you accept that vision will you stand firm in the great mission opening before you. And then, as that light begins to move within, it will lead you of itself into deeper skies where old ashes loosen and a new seed breaks forth. There you will understand why wounds that once drew tears now become sacred oil for healing. I am still there, waiting for your step where light and life meet, and from the ashes the soul is summoned to live again. There are dawns that do not arrive with birdsong but with a new breath rising in the soul. Do you recognize it, the sign that heaven is awakening you? After long nights that seemed silent, a gentle wind crosses the fields of your heart, sweeping away each layer of old dust. In that place the first light touches ground once parched, and in this very moment what seemed dead is quietly rising. I, Michael, the Archangel, have seen those lands within you. I have seen how you walked through seasons of trial, how you kept silent and endured without losing the longing to live in the light. Now heaven does not come to ask what you have lost but to return to you a new life, for in the hands of God even ashes can bloom. Everything that seemed shattered I have gathered to weave into a luminous garment, laying it over you as restoration. Resurrection is not beginning again from the start, it is being lifted from the very place where you fell. I know there are fissures in your heart that still smolder, but they are not marks of failure, they are apertures where heaven can enter. As Scripture once spoke, He raises the lowly from the dust and seats them with princes, Psalm 1137. Each time you rise the sky opens a little more and my light moves deeper within you. There is one thing I want you to understand: stepping out of the ash is not a movement of the body but a turning of the soul. It is the moment you cease accusing yourself, cease looking back in fear, and begin to look up in hope. Ashes are no longer a burial ground but the hidden soil where a seed waits for its season to grow. And when you let me lead, each of your steps will be sheathed in light like armor, soft yet steadfast. I stand at the threshold of that dawn, watching you emerge from the dimming smoke of yesterday. The first light will always dazzle your eyes, for it differs so greatly from the shadows you had learned to bear. But let me hold your hand, for no light is to be feared, there is only light not yet understood. When you dare to look into it, you will see it is the radiant part of your own being that heaven is shining back to you. Remember Lazarus, who lay in the tomb for many days. All believed he was gone. Yet when Christ called one call only, Lazarus, come forth, life flooded the darkness. It was not because he raised himself, but because the hour had come for the voice of heaven to sound. So too today that voice is sounding for you, child. Step out of the ashes. Do not look back at the grave of memory. Look toward the light opening before you. For as you come forth, every chain that held you dissolves like morning mist before the Sunday. I say to you, do not fear to walk, even if your legs still tremble. Resurrection does not demand perfection. It asks only the courage to agree that you are worthy to live. And when you say yes, heaven will complete the rest. Like a river after drought, it needs only a gentle rain for the waters to swell and carry off the dust of the past. So it is with your soul. Only open your heart and grace will stream in, softening what had grown hard. I, Michael, the Archangel, stand beside you, still not as a warrior for battle but as a sentinel of the dawn. I will not allow anyone to steal the new light that is coming to you. Let me cover you with my wings, that every breath you take be infused with sacred peace. For from here on your journey is no longer a flight from darkness but a walking in the light with eyes made clear. And when that light becomes the natural rhythm of your life, you will realize you have not only been raised, you have been entrusted with a higher charge to tend that flame for a world dimmed by confusion. From this moment you do not live for yourself alone, you become a guardian of light. A new path opens where you and I move together, not in the ashes but within the field of radiance, of vigilance, and of the sacred mission heaven has prepared. There are seasons in life when light is no longer merely a gift to receive but a responsibility to keep. When the soul has risen and the ashes have become a dawn, you are no longer only the consoled, you are the one commissioned to watch. Heaven does not bestow light for you to hide it but for you to keep its flame steady in a world that is fading. I, Michael, the Archangel, call this the hour of spiritual watchfulness. It is the time your soul learns holy attentiveness, not letting outer turbulence distort the inner light. Watchfulness is not fear. It is a full awareness of the sacred presence alive within you. When you know how to guard what is holy, you take your place among heaven's ranks, standing with me upon the walls of light. Spiritual watchfulness begins with wakefulness in the smallest things. How you choose your words, how you keep peace amid noise, how you walk without letting your heart be stained by fear. You need not strain to resist the world, only keep the lamp within from going out. For every awakened soul is a torch, and when such torches are kindled everywhere, darkness recedes of itself. Sometimes watchfulness is knowing when to be silent, for some clamors are overcome only by stillness. Sometimes it is speaking a word of encouragement when someone falters and forgets they too bear light. Sometimes it is turning back to center, refusing to drift from the sacred axis set within your heart. I remind you of this, for wakefulness is born not of fear but of love that tends what it has been given. As Scripture has declared, watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing but the flesh is weak. Matthew 2:6-4:1. To keep watch is to pray in all things, not only with words but with every deed, every glance, every breath. When you work with your mind set on heaven, when you forgive instead of judge, when you choose peace instead of reaction, in that very moment you are keeping watch. Remember, not everyone will understand your light. Some will notice your change and fail to name it, but let not this make you draw back. True light unveils the dark, and at times the dark will try to close over it again. Do not fear, I am at your side. When you keep your heart humble, without judgment, without grasping, your light cannot be quenched. Spiritual watchfulness is also learning to hear the whisper of the Holy Spirit amid the rush of life. Often I come to you not in thunder but in a breeze, not through great events but in something exquisitely small, like a sudden good thought flickering in your heart. Learn to recognize it. In that very subtlety you will be taught how to collaborate with heaven, not swept along by circumstance but moving in cadence with the divine will. Watchfulness does not pull you out of the world, it teaches you to live in the world without belonging to it. You can work, love, and create, yet remain unhooked by fear or rivalry. You walk in the light, and that light does not boast, it is humble, enduring, and it radiates a peace that draws others near. Then as you keep that light within, heaven will open new doors. You will sense more deeply your role, the guardian of light's borders, the keeper of sacred space in a changing world. No longer merely a soul being restored, you become the warden of the dawn, the gate through which the light of God passes to touch humanity. I, Michael, the Archangel, say to you, now is the time to stand firm. Now is the hour to take your place among the ranks of light. For a single awakened soul can stir the heavens. You need not be grand, only true, only bright, only willing. When you stand, I stand. When you pray, heaven moves. And when you are awake, the world is held back from breaking a little more. Now that light has taken shape within you and your spirit has learned to keep step with heaven, I will lead you further to the place where that light becomes creative strength, an instrument to transform the world around you. For watchfulness is only the beginning. What follows is the operation of light, where you do not only tend the fire but become the flame that guides many. There comes a moment in the spiritual journey when light no longer merely surrounds you, it begins to move within you. Then you are not only the one illumined, you are the one who carries that source into the world. The light no longer stops at your heart. It spills through your gaze, your words, your every work. And in that moment, heaven smiles, for your soul is ready to operate in the light. I, Michael, the Archangel, say to you, light is not for looking at, it is for use. When heaven pours out light, it is not only to warm you but to empower the works of love, to render the unseen into the seen. When you speak a word of healing, the light within you moves. When you choose forgiveness, the light expands. When you encourage, the light blossoms. And every act of love, however small, sends holy ripples farther than you imagine. Remember, to operate in the light does not mean to be flawless, it means faithfulness, faithful to what heaven is stirring in your heart. I do not ask you to be always strong, I ask you to be honest with the light within. For light only travels far, when it is not distorted by pretense. A truthful heart, though fragile, can shine farther than a soul striving to appear radiant. In every soul renamed and kept in holy watch, heaven sets a unique frequency of light, a manner of understanding, a voice, a calling. No two carry the same flame. Some are sent to console, others to awaken faith, and others are graced to heal the wounded places of humanity. When you walk in that cadence, you become an instrument of heaven's operation upon the earth. Look at the story of Moses, who once believed himself slow of speech, unworthy to speak on God's behalf. Yet it was he who with a staff in his hand parted the Red Sea. The power did not come from the staff, but from the authority of the light moving through the one who was sent. In the same way, when you allow heaven to work through you, what once seemed impossible begins to open, not because of you but because the light is moving with you. To walk in the light is also to learn how to cooperate with heaven in every small choice. When you face injustice and still choose to keep your peace, you are moving in the Spirit. When you choose trust over doubt, love over reaction, the light within you is powerfully at work. It does not need noise or proof. It spreads of itself like the fragrance of a flower that beautifies the space around it simply by being. I, Michael, the Archangel, want you to understand that moving in the light is the journey of freedom. You are no longer governed by fear, nor do you seek recognition. True light does not compete for place, it simply shines. When you let heaven guide each step, you become a bearer of peace to others, and the world around you will sense something sacred in your presence. And when you move in this way, I work with you. Each time you speak to encourage, I add strength to your words. Each time you pray, I open a way for that prayer to be fulfilled. Each time you hold the hand of one who is weak, I cover them with my wings. For moving in the light is never a solitary act, it is a collaboration between your soul and the forces of heaven. Do not forget the light must be nourished. Set aside quiet moments to return and draw again from the source. If you only give without returning, the flame will wane. I am there in the hours when you sit still, in the gentle breath between two prayers, in the open space between tasks. There heaven will pour its strength back into you so you may continue to move with balance, peace, and endurance. Then when the light has moved long enough within you, you will recognize a wonder. The light is no longer only in you, you become the light. There is no distance between you and your mission, between you and heaven. Everything you do, everywhere you go, bears the imprint of the presence. Then I need speak little, for you have learned heaven's language, the language of love set in motion. And now that you have become an instrument of the light, heaven will open deeper tiers of movement where you not only carry light for yourself but ignite lamps that are growing dim. This is the new chapter at hand, a mission of kindling where the light in you awakens countless hearts so the world may no longer wander among shadows. When the light within you has matured, it cannot remain still. True light does not know how to stand in one place, it finds its own path into places still dark. Beloved child, when heaven lights a fire in your heart, it is not only to warm you but to make you a torch bearing heaven's breath across the earth. The world is waiting for what you carry. There are souls for whom a single ray from you is enough to let them know that heaven is still at work among humanity. I, Michael, the Archangel, say to you, now is the time to carry your flame outward. Do not hide it in fear, for a flame given is not meant to be concealed but to give light to the path. Your flame may be a word of comfort, a simple kindness, a compassionate glance, or a courageous voice in a world thirsty for truth. Do not underestimate the power of the small, for light is not measured by size but by the purity of love within it. This world does not merely need more talkers, it needs those who live in the presence of light. Where you stand, peace follows. When you speak, hope rises. When you listen, others are healed. To kindle others is not to impose belief but to embody divine love, so that others see in you what they had forgotten, that the light remains and heaven is still calling them home. Remember this: a flame does not burn by effort but by surrender. When you offer each day to heaven, the light will move through you without strain. A small prayer, a silent forgiveness, a compassionate gaze, each is a little flame being sent out, weaving souls together in one shared brightness. Look at the Samaritan woman by the well. One encounter with Christ and her heart blazed. She returned to her village not with doctrines but with the joy of one touched by the light. That joy spread, drawing many to the source of life. So too you need not shout. Live truly in the light, and the light itself will seek out those who need it. But remember, to kindle others requires steadfastness and kindness. There will be times you offer light where hearts are not yet ready. There will be moments when your words fall into silence like seeds sleeping in dry soil. Do not lose heart, every seed of light sown is noted. Heaven does not forget the labor of the faithful. The light you sow today may need many seasons to sprout, but in due time it will bear fruit. To kindle is also to learn to give without fear of loss, to love without demanding return. I tell you, when you share the light, I multiply it. Each time you encourage someone, I open a new door in their life. Each time you intercede for another, I send heavenly hosts to help them. And each time you choose love, even when misunderstood, your light shines stronger like a candle that burns brighter in the wind. When you kindle others, you extend the reach of heaven's hand. You become a golden thread that mends broken souls, a bearer of peace in places of strife. This is a great calling, but also a deep joy, the joy of writing with heaven new chapters of healing. I, Michael, the Archangel, will accompany you always on this journey. When you are weary, I shelter you. When you are weak, I raise you up. When you doubt, I repeat the first promise. You are a child of the light, and the light within you will never be extinguished. And when you look around and see the world awakening to little lamps lit by souls made watchful like you, you will understand this is not merely your story but a symphony of sacred light where every flame sings in heaven's rhythm. Go on, beloved, keep walking, keep kindling, for, with every step you take, every word you speak, every breath you draw, heaven walks with you. This is the fullest meaning of kindling. The light in you touches another, and in that moment the world is changed. And today heaven beholds the flame within you, lit not only to guide your steps but to illumine a world thirsty for hope. I, Michael the Archangel, declare, do not fear the days ahead. Where you go, heaven has gone before. Where you stand, my light covers you. Where you speak, your words are strengthened by the breath of the Spirit. No darkness can quench a soul that knows it belongs to the light. You need not hurry, only remain faithful. Every small step is recorded. Every hidden act of love resounds in the heavens like a hymn of praise. I see in you an honest steady spark, and that is the strength of one who is chosen. Do not seek perfection, seek presence. Light does not need display to be acknowledged, it only needs to be true to its nature. There will be days when the light in you feels faint. Then remember, it never goes out, it only asks to be tended by stillness and prayer. Return to the source and the breath of God will fill you again. When you do, the fire will burn brighter, deeper, stronger. I remain there on the border between the realms of light and humankind, guarding your flame against the winds of the world. You are called not to flee the world but to carry heaven into it. Step forth with gentle eyes, a spacious heart, and words that heal. The world does not need you to fight with anger, it needs you to stand in the light. Be the outstretched arm of heaven, the breeze of truth, the keeper of rhythm for souls trembling on their way home. And when you grow tired, lift your head. I am there on the threshold between the sacred and the earthly, spreading my wings over you. I say to you, you are not alone, for I am sent to watch over you. Each time you pray, I hear. Each time you weep, I understand. And each time you choose the light again, I rejoice, for you are extending heaven's victory upon the earth. Child, the light in you is not only to shine but to draw other souls nearer to the source. Live slowly, peacefully, and steadfastly like the lamp before the altar, never going out. Keep kindling even with a single spark, for one spark can change the night. I, Michael the Archangel, bless you. Bless the hands that sow love. Bless the eyes that see with mercy. Bless the heart that never ceases to tremble at heaven's beauty. And bless your soul, you who dared to rise from the ashes to live as a ray renamed in glory. Beloved, keep walking. Each step you take is a living praise. And as you move forward, your light joins the light of the heavenly hosts, forming a radiant symphony. Heaven calls, the triumph song of the watchful. Now I speak my final word: go in peace, but never alone. For I, Michael, the guardian of the light, go with you until you return made complete in the eternal light. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and turn on notifications to journey with Archangel Michael, spreading God's light each day.